Rep. Sherman grilled Secretary Rubio on shocking failures in U.S. foreign policy and humanitarian aid, from $300 million in suspicious Chinese-linked deals to Elon Musk's cuts to USAID, leaving millions without life-saving support. Sherman demanded answers.
Mr. Chairman, it's our job to oversee the State Department. You can't do that by having think tank witnesses come before us. Our job isn't to oversee the think tanks. In 2023, we had 44 government witnesses. This year, we have our first. And I hope very much that we have not only the secretary, but the undersecretaries and assistant secretaries so that we can really do our job. Secretary Rubio, in the 1970s, there was a powerful Middle East monarch who claimed to be a friend of the United States. Wasn't, may very well have been, claimed to be at least agreeable to Israel. And so in the 1970s, we transferred enormous, sophisticated weapons to him. In 1979, the Shah was deposed and all those weapons were in the hands of the Ayatollah. Today, MBS wants a nuclear weapon. But he says what he wants is a nuclear cooperation agreement. Well, we have a nuclear cooperation agreement with the United Arab Emirates and Turkey and Morocco that all provide for a gold standard of safety. Can you assure us that you will not enter into a nuclear cooperation agreement with Saudi Arabia that does not have that same gold standard of security to make sure they're not building a nuclear weapon?
Well, first I will tell you that there has been no conversation about entering into one. For example, during the recent trip.
And can you? I've got limited time.
I can't. So here's the thing. I can tell you.
Either give me a yes, give me a no.
Well, I'm going to give you my answer if you want my answer.
I want a yes
this is not
or
a
no.
game show.
Reclaiming my time.
Well, reclaim your time, but it's not a game show. I get to answer. These are complex questions. Let me answer.
Mr. Secretary, I'm reclaiming my time. The filibustering takes place in the Senate, not here.
I'm not filibustering. I'm trying to answer your question.
You're trying. Let's go on to the next question. With regard to Iran, can you assure us that you will continue sanctions on Iran until they verifiably agree to abandon all enrichment? That's a yes or no question.
No, it's not.
Well, can you give me a yes or no, or should I go on to the next question?
We believe that Iran should not be allowed to enrich uranium. Correct.
You believe that it should?
We believe that an acceptable deal with Iran is one in which they cannot enrich, because if they can enrich, they can weaponize.
I know why we don't want. I asked you, will we agree? Will we continue the sanctions until they verifiably agree to get rid of?
Oh, you have no worry about us. The worry was the previous administration. This administration has been.
Your refusal to give me an answer is loud and clear.
No,
is reclaiming my time, Mr. Chair. You told us about all these wonderful business deals that were announced in the Middle East. It's reminiscent of the first year of the first term of Donald Trump, where he announced a $10 billion investment by Foxconn in Wisconsin. It is still an empty field. I am sure that the only deals announced in the Middle East that will actually happen were the bribery deals, the $400 million plane and the $2 billion Abu Dhabi will put into the cryptocurrency sponsored by Mr. Trump. TikTok. Mr. Secretary, you led the effort to say that it shouldn't be controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. We passed a law with your help. That law requires that we ban TikTok now because all of the expiration dates have expired. But instead, we saw Chinese interests affiliated with TikTok transfer $300 million into the Trump coin, which is a pure gift. It's $300 million for nothing but monopoly money. And so there's a word in Mandarin for this. It's called bribery. And it raises the question that I'll ask you to respond to for the record, and that is there any statute this administration will not violate for a $300 million Chinese bribe? We next focus on USAID. Musk gutted it. He said no one died as a result. Do you agree that no one has died yet as a result of the chainsawing of USAID? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, the question is, has anyone what?
Has anyone in the world died because of what Elon Musk did?
Listen.
Yes or no, reclaiming my time. If you won't answer, that's a loud answer.
No one has died because of USAID.
The people who have died as a result of cutting off the oxygen of a woman in Burma and denying HIV/AIDS treatment to those in Africa. They are dead now at the hands of Elon Musk and his co-conspirators.
Chair now recognizes Representative Wilson from South Carolina.
This confrontation between Representative Sherman and Secretary Rubio is more than a procedural hearing. It's a masterclass in the responsibility and gravity of political power. Sherman isn't just asking questions for the sake of debate. He's highlighting the very real consequences that can come from indecision, ambiguity, or lack of oversight. When he references historical mistakes, like U.S. weapons ending up in the hands of adversaries in the 1970s, it's a reminder that every policy decision, every arms agreement, and every diplomatic handshake carries potential consequences decades later. These are lessons etched in blood and history, not abstract scenarios. The repeated demand for clarity, forcing Rubio to give yes or no answers, is a fundamental lesson in governance. Leaders cannot hide behind technicalities or complex rhetoric when national and global security are at stake. The stakes here are monumental, ensuring that Saudi Arabia does not acquire nuclear capabilities and that Iran cannot weaponize uranium. Sherman's insistence on clear, enforceable commitments is about preventing catastrophic failures, not scoring political points. For viewers, this is an important takeaway. Diplomatic ambiguity isn't neutral. It can be dangerous. The hearing also highlights how intertwined policy, money, and ethics are. Sherman's questioning about the $300 million Chinese financial transfer into the Trump coin exposes the hidden ways that influence and financial incentives can compromise national security. This is an essential insight for viewers. Policy decisions are rarely isolated. They intersect with financial interests, corporate power, and geopolitical ambitions, and without rigorous oversight, ordinary citizens bear the consequences. But what makes this hearing truly human, and what Sherman emphasizes, is the real-world impact of policy cuts. When he addresses the USAID budget, he connects abstract fiscal numbers to human lives, reminding everyone watching that these aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. Every cut to humanitarian aid, health services, or food programs translates to suffering and death for people who rely on these programs for survival. Sherman's blunt framing is a wake-up call. Decisions made in Washington ripple outward into homes, hospitals, and communities around the world. Understanding this human connection is crucial for viewers who want to grasp the real stakes of government policy. Sherman also exposes the tension between short-term political gain and long-term global responsibility. When deals are announced in the Middle East, they may look like diplomatic wins or investment opportunities, but without proper safeguards, they can be empty promises or even dangerous. The reference to past bribery deals and unfulfilled investments shows viewers that the optics of power are not the same as accountability. This is an opportunity to teach audiences how to critically evaluate political narratives. Just because a deal is announced doesn't mean it delivers results or protects public interests. Ultimately, this exchange is a lesson in leadership and civic engagement. Sherman models the kind of rigorous oversight that democracy demands. He demonstrates that it isn't enough for officials to give vague assurances. They must answer tough questions, provide transparency, and prioritize human and national security over political expediency. For viewers, this underscores a broader truth. Being informed, asking questions, and demanding accountability isn't optional. It's essential for protecting lives and ensuring that leadership serves the public good. Watch critically, question boldly, and hold leaders accountable. Understand that every policy decision, every budget cut, and every international agreement carries consequences, often for the most vulnerable among us. Knowledge is power, and engagement is responsibility. Stay informed and see the truth behind the headlines. Subscribe to Liberal Lens for in-depth, progressive analysis of what's really happening in politics, policy, and power. Hit the bell so you never miss a breakdown that affects your life and your country. Join the conversation, stay critical, and empower yourself with knowledge that matters.